Oh, Shedeur Sanders, QB1 going into 2026. That's hard to tell. We're here to talk about it. Also, Nikola Jokic, a knee injury. How serious is it? Most people know. Hyperextension, out 4 weeks. We dive into what's the situation with the Denver Nuggets as well. On this episode of the Locker Room Talk with your boy. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Locker Room Talk, and I'm your host, Eli. You can catch us on Side Talk Sports Network. So, like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell for the algorithm. And again, appreciate y'all for tuning in to the Locker Room Talk. Now, we have questions that need to be answered when it comes to Shedeur Sanders, man. So, again, appreciate y'all tuning in. Now let's get down to business. Sounds like the Pittsburgh Steelers 13-6. They won. I know that sounds crazy, but they beat the Steelers 13-6. But I felt that this is the best he's looked as a quarterback. And when I say as a quarterback, a best game, I simply just mean he looked comfortable. He looked in command. He came out striking, and he just looked overall better. The command he had in the offense looked great. The speed of the game is slowing down for him in my eyes. And before we get into it, I just want to show you his stats. It wasn't the greatest game, but it was pretty good. He was 17 for 23 yards passing for 186 yards passing, one touchdown and two interceptions. Granted, one interception, as we all seen, it was deflection. It wasn't necessarily his fault per se. It wasn't his fault. Second one, he just threw it back across his body. Granted, I understand that you're not supposed to do that in the NFL. People are too quick. But I feel like it was more, he was just having his receiver make a play. Granted, he played with Travis Hunter, and I specifically remember a pass he threw it up. I believe it was against the Utah, and Travis ball skills went and got it. But you can't say Travis Hunter is a different type of breed of player. So, you can't fault Jerry Jeudy for not. I just wish Jerry Jeudy would have made a better play on it to bat it down or something around that sort of lines. So, but no, but before anybody loses their mind, just hear me out. It was a pretty good win, like I said. This wasn't an explosive game. It wasn't an exciting game. It wasn't the 49ers and Bears game. You know what I mean? This was like a grown man AFC North football game in the cold in Cleveland late December. And I felt like Shador handled it well against can't say one of the top defenses. They just been playing well throughout these little stretch of games that they won. And I didn't think he flinched, man. And he stayed calm. He protected the football for the most part. No, he didn't have the mistakes he had on their side. It's not like they were in their inside their 20 and he threw an interception. Granted, they were driving, had some momentum, but he just made one stupid play and a potential interception. So again, he'll take those steps, and I feel like he'll get better at those. But I feel like that puts him ahead. I feel like it puts him ahead of some of the rookies, the quarterback, just a simple fact that is he's looking more calm in the pocket. His feet are not jittering and moving quick. He's seeing, and it looks perfect because he's processing what he's seeing. Granted, I know the touchdown to Errol Fanning Jr., I think he got tricked in a little a little bit of luck. Fanning just made a play. He caught the ball for the touchdown. It was perfect passing the pass, the little deep, what is it? To I want to say Thrash. That was a spot on. Carried him for extra 20 yards, led him, dropped it in the bucket. So he's not looking bad. He's getting he's improving each day and each game. He learns from his mistakes, and the only mistake that I seen that he had was the two interceptions. But also, it's frustrating because the first half he came out throwing the ball great in the rain. It was rain and slippery, so he's looking. He was putting the ball in the money. The deep end by Jerry Jeudy, the corner to Errol Fanning for the touchdown looked good. And all seems that he's figuring out the NFL speed. And make I'm gonna make this quite clear to most people, Jackson Dart or anybody like that. But either way, I feel like he's primed to get better every. And I thought that they weren't playing hard and they were just worried about Miles Garrett, but they actually came out and played for not just Miles, but for Kevin Stefanski. So that shows good on what this young group of guys are just doing, man. I just don't understand. So the first half was great, but the second half, it felt like the play calling was more conservative. Granted, they wanted to run the ball, and it seems like I don't know if it was Shador or the coaching staff that kind of played not to lose, which was weird to me. I didn't understand why they didn't come back out aggressive. I felt like if you got him in a better rhythm, maybe that's what it is. And one thing that I've seen, and this is kind of why his interceptions are kind of, I guess you want to say, not mind blowing, but just you just don't understand why he threw that pass. Is I think he's trying to make a play with conservative play calling, and maybe that's just me, but it seems like that he's trying to make a play in a conservative play calling because he wants to be aggressive down the field. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. That's just what I see with my own two eyes. But I feel like the second half, calling got way conservative. He only had, I want to say the first half he threw, I think he threw, I want to say 12 to 15 passes. And then he only ended up with 23 passing attempts. So like, I feel like down the stretch, they got more conservative as the game went on. They were playing, to me, they felt like they were playing not to lose and just leaned on the defense, which, and I don't, granted, they have a good enough defense to do so, but me personally, I just thought that you could have just gone and just kept hitting the gas and just keep on pushing the ball down the field and trying to make explosive plays. But I think that's the reason those interceptions happen because conservative play calling makes Shador press a little bit, like we need to get things going. But hey, it's the NFL, so you're gonna have to learn to adapt how to, hit your check, not just hit your check downs, but make something out of nothing in a way. Maybe, matriculate the ball down the field more. Maybe if he can sustain the drive, maybe that won't, cause more turnovers. Him just trying to make a play downfield. So another thing is, one question I want to dive into, and I want y'all to let me know how y'all feel about this. Leave a comment and all that stuff. Should Shedeur be QB1 going into next year? Now let's address the real question everybody's arguing about, and here's the answer. And I'm not dancing around it. I feel like he should. I feel like he should be QB1 going to next year, and that's just not because I'm a fan or whatever it may be. It's just I believe that you go into 2026 with Shador, Deshaun, and Dylan draft O line receivers. Try to get a couple playmakers, veteran playmakers, and a couple old linemen. I feel like you give them that year, start them out from OTAs, and yeah, we'll go from there. But if you're not still unsure about Shador, if people are not sure about Shador after this game, you're not just watching football and you're just watching, you know what I mean? You're just watching stat sheet because everyone's worried about what he's throwing, what interceptions and whatever it is. If you look at the game, he looks like an NFL quarterback. He looked like the game is slowing down for him. He looks like a NFL starting quarterback. And enough with the bullshit and enough with the naysayers stating that he's not doing what he needs to be doing when it comes to playing the position. I truly feel that there is something there in Shador. It's just the right coach got to get it out of him. And I'm not saying he don't have greatness inside of him. I feel like everybody in this world have greatness inside of him. It's just who can tap into Shador and be on the same page. Because I don't feel like Kevin or Reese is on the same page with Shador. I feel like they kind of holding them. I'm not saying holding them back or anything like that. I just think they need to kind of adapt to what the quarterback is or quarterback, how he plays quarterback. Sorry. And an example of that is I always go back to Bo Nix because Sean Payton adapted his offense with some of the things that are best for Bo Nix when it comes to using his legs or just things like that. Granted, there's times where you see him being a second year, but that's what it is. Just like Josh McDaniels did with Drake May. I think that's something that needs to be, hit on. And his mechanics are good. His footwork is great and all that, but you can't teach the mechanics. He has great mechanics. You can't fix his footwork. He always has great footwork and you can clean up timing with the receivers. You cannot coach confidence within what Shador does. You can't coach confidence. He has the leadership. He has the presence of a quarterback. And Shador walks into the huddle. he commands it, and it looks like he belongs. So that's one reason why you should bring back Shedeur as QB1 next year. The players fight for Shedeur. Players want Shedeur to succeed, and they know that he can help them succeed as well. Now, but now, like that's what I'm saying. So now let's turn up the heat a little bit on a couple of things. Should the Browns go all in on Shedeur for next year? If the Browns don't commit to Shedeur, they're admitting and that's what I'm saying. If the Cleveland Browns don't commit to Shedeur from here going into next year, they're admitting they still don't know how to develop quarterback. From Tim Couch to Baker Mayfield to Johnny Manziel to whoever Dylan Gabriel this year, they're admitting that they can't develop a quarterback, and from what I've seen, you can. Another thing that I've heard is from Mary Kay actually is Kevin Stefanski is a great coach. He just wants his type of quarterback, a veteran quarterback that knows how to play in the NFL. First of all, as a coach, you're supposed to develop players, get the best out of players. So he can't develop players. He needs somebody that's already made. And again, he had Joe Flacco. There you go, veteran quarterback. He had James Winston, veteran quarterback. You know what I mean? He had Baker Mayfield. And he was a rookie, but at the end of the day, did any of these quarterbacks better? He had Deshaun Watson in his prime. Did any of these quarterbacks been developed? They all looked horrible for the most part in this offense. Again, except for Joe Flacco for 6 games. So I don't want to hear Kevin Stefanski is this great coach. I'm not saying he's not a good coach. I believe he is a good coach, or else he wouldn't be coaching in the NFL. But you can't tell me he just needs his type of quarterback and a veteran quarterback. And I believe that he has a better chance of winning. No, you're supposed to develop. That's what you're supposed to do. This is not. How can I say this? This is people get this mixed up. Granted, this is not 1998 where you can sit your quarterback and wait 2 to 3 years for them to grow within the offense and do what you got to do. It's not that time. Granted, people are spoiled like the Houston Texans and us as Denver Broncos fans and the New England Patriots and stuff like that, that their quarterbacks jumped on and started producing right away. Some people are not like that. You get what I'm saying? But I also feel like it's has to be the right fit for a quarterback and the right coaches to do it. So enough of that. I just think that's bullshit, but that's just me. Again, I don't think by not going with Shador next year, I feel that Cleveland once again is admitting that they can't develop a quarterback. There's no more half measures. There's no more fake open competitions. There's no limbo. Just commit to Shador, and that's just kind of what it has to be.
You a great chance. And why do I say that? Based upon the fact that this dude, one, came into the season late, has found a way to win a game against a team no one thought you had a chance, and you know what a winning against. And on top of that, we've seen glimpses, we've seen signs. Now, we've also seen some things where we're like, dog, if you could just cut out the ill-advised decision making on certain things, then we'd be better for it. And that's the worry right there. But I'm sorry. I saw enough yesterday to say to myself, give this guy a year, give this guy a look to see if he could be your guy and bump getting a quarterback with the first pick in the draft. I'm looking at Shedeur.
And that's what I'm saying. Give him a chance to do what needs to be done and see again if Cleveland don't believe he's the guy and build around him and let him take his lumps and this next year in 26. Now let's talk. That's what they should do. I feel like each time he'll get better. I think with the offseason, he'll get even better. Training camp, preseason games into the next season, I'm pretty sure by week 4 it will start clicking for him. But you got to put him you got to put him around a good offensive coordinator. If they keep Kevin Stefanski, put him around a different offense coordinator, man, or a different head coach. Like I said, I'm stomping the table or pounding the table for Cliff Kingsbury from Washington. Give him another chance. I guarantee he'll make Shador a lot better than what we've seen. But now let's talk about coaching because this is the weird thing. It gets messy. Did Kevin Stefanski save his job with this win last against the Steelers? I'm not exactly sure. And from what I'm hearing and everybody knows, that's a possibility. You know what I mean? And I don't think Jimmy Haslam is wanting to blow this whole thing up. I don't think it is. I feel like maybe he might, Well, who knows? The interview that he had asking, he said it's a privilege for Kevin Stefanski said it was a privilege for him coaching and all this stuff, saying that he might leave or not. He's not saying he might leave. It just kind of sounds like he may go. Maybe they had those talks behind the scenes, but at the end of the day, I feel like to get I think they need new blood. I think everybody just needs to part ways and get some new coaches, some fresh coaches, maybe some younger coaches to get in, especially with this rookie class. But would they keep Andrew Berry? Even if they do keep Andrew Berry, I think you need, as a GM, you need a president of operations that he has to talk to before you make selections. He had one good draft class, but other than that, he hasn't really hit on too many draft picks. So I know some Cleveland fans and Cleveland media wants them both gone, but I just feel like if you don't get a fresh new GM, you got to give them a partner or assistant GM or somebody not assistant GM, somebody a VP of operations or some football operations, something around that line where you have somebody overseeing the GM part of everything. But I want to get into this video with Riz and Tony Grossi about Kevin's, maybe departure from the Cleveland Browns and I want you guys
in the
to check it out.
building to save his job with that win yesterday, if anything?
I'm not sure, Riz. I've come this week to the vibe that he wants out as much as anything.
What leads you to believe that? Just his demeanor?
Yeah, it's the body language. He had an edge to him in the post game. It wasn't celebratory. It was like,
Screw you.
Yeah.
Take that.
Yeah.
Told you. Yep. Wait till I go do this somewhere else.
And I wouldn't blame him. I wouldn't blame him if he had that attitude. And I think that's where this is heading.
So even if it's heading that way, I feel like Tony is stating that he's had enough of all the whatever the Shedeur fans or whatever it may be. But I honestly think it's more people are calling him out for what it is. Like a year in a row, you gave up play calling. The only time your play callings actually looked good was when you had Joe Flacco, and that was before this year. I just feel like he's probably a good coach. I just don't honestly. I just can't put my finger on what it is. I just think both needs a fresh start. All needs to go, and maybe that's not a bad idea. Maybe he is tired of it, And I can get it. I understand his way. I can see it both ways. I just think he only won, I think, 7 games in the last 2 years. He had 2 good seasons. Granted, he had a playoff win, which that is all good, fine, and dandy, and I totally understand that. But most coaches would have been fired for less. I keep on saying that. And shoot, again, I always refer to the Broncos because I am a Bronco fan. He had an awful. They fired him before the season was over, and he was only there for literally 12, 13 games. But that's the expectation as the Broncos have. They ain't playing. They want to win championships. And I don't know how Cleveland feels. Maybe this is a plan. And to be honest with you, I feel this. Cleveland's opening up a whole new stadium, I think in 2029, 2020, or maybe 2030. They want to be good and relevant to sell tickets because they're going to sell. They're going to be more expensive to sell tickets in 2029. Why is it not starting out? You had a good rookie class. You need to get a fresh coach in there. Like I said, Clint Kubiak, Cliff Kingsbury, Davis Webb as offense coordinator, and Vance Joseph. To me, Vance Joseph as a leader of men, and people play for Vance Joseph. People love Vance Joseph, but those are the things and those are the coaches I think that can relate more. I think Kevin Stefanski is maybe he's not. Maybe he's too nonchalant. Maybe that's to me. Maybe maybe that's just me. I'm not in the locker room with him. I'm just, I'm just speaking on it. Who knows? But I just think to get the best out of your quarterback and the best out of your young up and coming draft picks, maybe get a younger coach with new idea and fresh ideas. I know that's just one of those things where that's just my take on it. And I know some people might get mad about it, but that's just kind of how I feel about it. But I just think, I don't know. And now diving in further into this whole situation, if Kevin does get fired, Shador might have to win over the new coach. You get what I'm saying? Unless they specifically say, hey, Shador's going, QB1 going into 2026. But if not, that's what I'm saying. And us Shador fans, and not just me as a Shador fan, but as fans of Shador, is that something that has to happen? Because maybe the next coach don't like Shador. Maybe he wants to draft. Maybe he wants to move up. But Is it one of those things where the ownership and whoever's the GM, or if it's Andrew Berry, still say, hey, Shedor's QB1? And I personally think that you go in to it as him QB1 and just keep the quarterback room how it is with Shedeur, Deshaun, and Dylan Gabriel. I think those right there, and that should be the plan going into 2026 if Kevin gets fired and all that. Even if Kevin don't get fired, I think that should be.
Watson back, go ahead. You're paying him $46 million whether you like it or not. It ain't no competition to me. Shedor's your starter. I'm not falling for that ever again. I tried to meet you halfway on the Deshaun Watson stuff. He's broken physically. How many injuries has he had? He didn't want to be here. I don't care. I don't care about any sort of redemption story. If he does, fine. Stick it in my ear. Shedeur, if it comes down to Shedeur or Deshaun Watson, not that Deshaun hasn't been a nice teammate and all that other stuff that we like to say now. It's Shedeur's team. I'm not wasting my time with anything else. Bailey Zappi or...
I think everybody agrees with you. You're not really arguing with anybody.
I'm just making sure.
Yeah.
I'm not, because I'm not having my time wasted.
If it were...
We're not doing this because I know it's... But I'm saying this, you know what's going to happen. Oh, he's looked really good in practice. And, they're still paying him all that money. And, at one point, he was an MVP-style player in this league. No, we're not doing that.
No, if it were him from 5 years ago, it'd be a no-brainer.
Of course, but you wouldn't have that conversation. You wouldn't have taken Shedeur in the 5th round had it been 5 years ago. So maybe I'm not sticking it over the fence the way I thought I was, but I just know how this conversation's going to go. And you guys mark my words, he'll be on the team going into next year, and you will hear how good he is in camp from certain people as we get ready for next year. And I'm not falling for it again. We're not doing that again.
That's one of those things where I feel like now Cleveland media is starting to see, starting to see what most Shedeur fans are starting to see, as in the progression, and they're tired of resetting themselves. Every year they drop the quarterback and reset themselves again. It's like jumping up a step and then going back a step, jumping up a step, going back a step, jumping up a step, going back a step. So they're just reset every time. And that's why I'm planting my flag as a fan of Shedeur, but as a fan of football, he is could be a franchise quarterback if you get the right people around him, not just coaches, but players. And the Browns should give Shedeur every rep from OTAs through the 2026 season and build the roster and fix the line, add weapons, just like I've already been stating for weeks and months already. And I say this, even if Shedeur isn't, say, somehow after 2026, Shedeur is not showing you growth or even getting better or even doing anything remotely as a quarterback and maybe take steps back or anything like that, which I 100% doubt that's going to happen. But even if that, they still makes them Browns better because they added more players for the next quarterback if they want to take one in 2027, because they're building a team and not just chasing it. You build a team and not just chasing a quarterback. So build a team around it. Okay, I'm going to reference again the Denver Broncos. Nix came to a great situation. Our defense damn near was already there. O-line pretty much already there when he got there. And that helps a young quarterback, his offensive line. So we've already built it. Bo Nix just got dropped in one of the best O-lines from the previous year with a good defense. So it's not like one of those things where the Broncos started from scratch. They literally had PS2. They had Singleton. They had the Benito and Cooper. They had Malcolm Roach. They had DJ Jones. They had Zach Allen already. They had a defense that's already constructed. That was a pretty good defense the prior year before Bo Nix got there. And then on the offensive line, they had Garrett Bowles. They had Ben Powers. They had McGlinchey. They had Miners. They had Waltenberg. They all were already there before Bo got there. You know what I mean? Cortland Sutton is already there. So Troutman was there. There's already a good team in front of Bo before Bo even got here. So Cleveland, skip on a quarterback this year. Build around Shedeur for 2026. Get all the possible resources, best players you can. Build the offensive line, and that's what you're going to see. And I believe that you guys will take a next step with the developments in the offseason and all that stuff that Shedeur can be QB1 at, and all the reps he takes. Stop chasing quarterbacks. And again, at the end of the day, bottom line, Shedeur doesn't have to be perfect. He just has to keep on getting better. Let's just be honest. If he just keeps on getting better And a year from now, I guarantee y'all be talking something differently. If he just, that's just the bottom line. That's if you just build around him. And to me, I think the arrow is pointing up, and that's what Cleveland Browns. That's what you guys need. The arrow's pointing up. Just stick with the one quarterback that is you can mold. Get a good coach that can mold this kid. And Cliff Kingsbury is my number one target because he helped Jaden Daniels get to where he's at. Granted, this year's a down year for him, but he's injured. Cliff Kingsbury or Clint Kubiak. But me, 100% Cliff Kingsbury will help Shador. He loves football. He got a short end of the stick in where is it at? In Arizona because he had Kyler Murray that all he wants to do is play fucking video games and not worry about defenses. You bring Cliff Kingsbury in, Shador loves football. This is his life, and he'll do what he has to do. So Cleveland fans, Shador fans, Cliff Kingsbury should be the coach. That's just me, and that's just how it's going to be. Well, not how it's going to be, but that's just what I believe that would help Cleveland get better in a way. But now, diving into the Denver Nuggets, man. Denver Nuggets, hearts stop for a moment. The best player in the world to most, best center, top 5 or top 10, or top 3 player in the NBA. Nikola Jokic, big injury happened against the Miami Heat. He's out indefinitely with a hyperextended knee on Monday. Granted, Denver Nuggets fans, we can breathe a sigh of release and exhale. It wasn't an ACL like a lot of people thought. I even thought, I was like, man, let's just hope it's nothing big. That's something nobody wanted to hear. No, Nikola Jokic is just like it says minimum 4 weeks. I see more. If it's a hyperextension, he'll be probably let the swelling or the swelling go down and the soreness go away and ice it and all that good stuff. And it could be 4 weeks. I just say don't bring him back until he's ready because it's more about the playoff push than the regular season. Granted, seeding is always take place. It's 4 weeks, so that gives him maybe 10 to 15 games he may miss. And that's possibly mid-January end of January. So again, Denver, we can breathe a sigh of relief and exhale. She's a hyperextension. We'll see how he feels in about 2 weeks, maybe even a week. He'll probably get back to rehabbing and doing all that good stuff, probably within a week and a half, 2 weeks. I know they said 4 weeks minimum. I suffered a hyperextension, so he can start running. But me personally, it's okay. You can take 4 weeks and you'll be okay, brother. And I'm not faulting him for that. If he does take the full weeks and then go like that. But here's the play that the Denver Nuggets fans are glad that it's not what it is. It just, I don't know. It was just a weird play. A friendly fire. Oh, dude, he just playing defense and kind of stepped on his foot and then maybe yanked his knee, but it was, looked bad. It looked worse than it really was. And I held my breath when I was watching the game and I was like, oh shit, I hope everything was good, because everything runs through him. Everything runs through the offense runs through him. Come on, he's having a career year, which is shocking. He's having a career year, most efficient, 60% from the field. He's averaging a triple double. He had he was NBA Player of the Month last in November, and he was on his way for this month in December. So good thing that it's just a hyperextension and it's nothing too serious in a way where he would have lost for the season. And yes, losing the best player in the world right now is scary, but it wasn't something major like ACL and he'd be out for a year and a half or however long it is. This is not a disaster again. To me, it's more like a reset. Before the injury, Jokic was, like I said, was having an MVP type year, even better, dominating control, playing chess. Well, again, he always plays chess while everyone's playing checkers type say. Good news is hyperextension, 4 weeks, no structural damage. So that's always a good thing for Denver Nuggets fans. And yes, man, that's big. But yeah, we can all breathe a sigh of relief, and now the context because that part matters. Nuggets are just playing. They've been playing well. They're, I believe, second or third. I want to say third in the West, 22-10. But one thing again is Jokic is not the only starter. They are down 4 starters. So they're down, they're down Aaron Gordon, Cam Johnson, Christian Braun, and now Jokic. Murray's the only one left in this thing, but I have belief in Murray. So I know Christian Braun and Gordon's coming back sooner than later, I believe. So that's always a good thing. So the question is obvious. So now let's dive into all the questions that people may have. So how will the Nuggets survive until Jokic gets back, or even half of the whole starting five gets back? Here's where Eli, flips the narrative on this whole situation. It might actually help. And when you say, Eli, what do you mean by help? Denver, it may help that Jokic and some of these guys out. Granted, you're going to start slowly getting these back, but why the backups get real minutes now and not just garbage time minutes? So like, what's his name? You'll just start having like the Najis and not Vucic. Vucic is the starting center, and he's not a slouch. Vucic is not a slouch whatsoever. So their projected starters will be right now Spencer Jones, Peyton Watson. Man, there you go. You still have Bruce Brown coming off the bench. You have Julian Strother, Jalen Pickett. You got Najee. So you'll have some decent players coming off the bench. But now the pressure and then the pressure minutes, and then growth minutes, they'll grow as a team and probably bond together as a team for the playoff prep. So when the Jokic and the rest of the starters come back, they're seasoned, they're ready to go, they're ready to fight. They know how this team's about, and they play significant minutes. So then they're not just going in there, and it's a deeper rotation at the end of the day. So that right there will be great that's the spinning the narrative to a positive, seeing the glass half full, not half empty. Now let's address the playoff concerns, and I know that's what the Nuggets fans and everybody's thinking. Does the injury take the Nuggets out of the playoffs chances? I don't believe so. I just think they may slip a little bit, but I also have faith in Jamal Murray. I even go further than that. This stretch could be pivotal, but make Denver more dangerous and come in spring more depth, like I stated before, and more confidence because those guys get a chance to play. And Peyton Watson is coming to his own. He's looking better, shooting the ball better. He's a great defensive player. So they're just giving him some more seasoning, put a little seasoning on the younger guys like Strother and the people that hardly get to play when those 4 guys are in the game. More players ready, when their name is called. Now now let me give you guys a scenario. A scenario, not just a scenario, but let me give y'all thinking a little bit. Just maybe this is the time Jamal needs to turn into that number 1 Jamal. He's going to be the number 1 option. And granted, I feel like this is the best season he's having by far. He's averaging 25 points a game. And let's just say, can Jamal kind of carry this team? Granted, I'm not saying that it's Jamal and a bunch of scrubs. You got Vucic, Peyton Watson, Tim Hardaway Jr., you have Peyton Watson, and you gotta have Brucey B coming off the bench. And I feel like they'll be okay. I don't see, and their schedule is favorable going down within this 4 weeks. I don't think Jokic is going to be rushed to get back, but throughout the couple weeks, Christian Braun's coming back, and Aaron Gordon is coming back. You know what I mean? So, and those are the 3 that you're looking for. And I feel like he can carry him. He's gonna. Me personally, I'm gonna take a stab at it and say that Jamal Murray is going to carry this team to more wins than losses during the stretch without Jokic. That's just me, and I'm not hesitating. And I think Jamal is ready. I think it's his time now. This is his time to show not just Nuggets fans, but the world that he can carry a team on his back. He's already having an all-star season so far, and I think this is going to elevate him just a little bit more. Maybe that's just positive thinking, but I believe in Jamal Murray, man. He's been put to the side so long. Everyone always say, "Oh, the Bubba Murray or playoff Murray." Granted, that's when he plays the best, which I love. But people always have that question: is can he sustain it for a full year? And I feel like this is the year that he's going to take that. And it's crazy to say Jamal Murray to me has been an all-star a couple of years, but he takes another jump in there, and I think he can carry this team and help this team get through the stretch of injuries that they have. Like I said, Jamal Murray has been playing lights out, playing like can't question his game right now, and that's awesome. He's scoring, he's controlling the pace. He's stepping into more of a leadership, and you can tell, you see it. The vision is there. Aggressive, confident, unapologetic. He'll get in your face. This is a stretch that this is his moment. This stretch of Jokic out, this is his moment. Even with Aaron Gordon and Christian Braun on the set to come back sometime sooner than Jokic, this is his moment right here, man. And that's just kind of how I feel. But I'm just glad Jokic is just a hyperextension. Like I said before, I believe he'll be ready to come back further, but just don't Nuggets. Let's not panic if we start losing maybe more games. Maybe let's just go 500 or maybe better than that. And I feel like we can. Let's just not freak out, because let's just get Jokic healthy for that playoff push, man. And we're not going to I don't believe we're going to fall back too far behind, but let's just get ready for that playoff push. I'd rather have Jokic for the playoff push than to not have him and him injured and kind of limping through the playoffs. So that's right there is one of those things where I'd rather that happen, because as we know, playoffs is a grind in basketball. So, you're playing every other day or every other 2 days, and your body don't get to rest. So if he can heal up now, I feel like it'll be a good stretch. But the Nuggets don't need to dominate right now anyway. They just need to survive. Let's just be honest. Let's just survive the 4 weeks without plus, or hopefully 4 weeks without, and get healthy. Stack experience with the guys that are now have to play more like Strother, Najee, and Peyton Watson, because Jokic is coming back, thank God. And the team won't just be healthy. They'll be battle tested at the end of the day, so we don't have to worry about, we can't play this player because we can't trust him, and none of that no trust stuff. So Nuggets fans, Nuggets Nation, we're good. Relax. All right, and we'll be all right, man. We're just gonna see. And again, this is Jamal Murray's moment. Let's see if he can put Nuggets on his back for this stretch, and I think we'll be all right. All right, so we're all good with that. So again, I appreciate y'all for watching. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff, man. I appreciate y'all for supporting your boy. Again, follow, like, subscribe to Side Talks Sports Network. We powered by RSTP Media. Also check out for Rosalinda St. Prince clothing and some Mile High Mindset merch coming out soon. Also tap into Mile High Mindset every Friday. All Broncos podcast with me, your boy, and my co-host Levy Stroh. Again, look out for all the stuff that we got going on, and just like and subscribe. Help us out a little bit. I appreciate y'all for tuning in with me. Again, thanks. Appreciate it. To the next time. Peace.